Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to week one of the Esports Simulation League Cup Series here at Daytona. We have 100 laps for you tonight, and rolling off on the pole is the number 8 machine, Brian Delp Jr. Sorry, make that the number 5 machine of Frank Wade is starting on pole, with Brian Delp Jr. starting to his outside. Russell Schumacher starting in the inside row number 2 with Rich Pratchard starting to his outside MP4. Tyler Vickery starting inside row number 3 with Javier Vasquez starting to his outside in P6. Wilhelm Layton starting to the inside of row number 4 with the 9 machine of Patrick Manning starting to his outside. In the 55 machine, starting 9th, is Eric Davis and Dylan Herbiton in the number 22 machine starting to his outside. That is your top 10 starting order. You can see the rest of your field there on the screen. 100 laps tonight, 1 pit stop here, and it ought to be a show. As you see the field here, 35 cars strong. 36 cars strong here, and they're about to do 100 super fast 4 wide laps. The pace car gets ready to duck on off to the safety of pit road. Flagman's got that flag in his hand. There goes the pace car, and we are getting ready to go Daytona style racing. Green flag is in the air. Brian Delp Jr. is off to a great start. What a jump for that number 8 machine on the start. Not going to do much for him later here once this pack gets up to speed. You see that number 86 machine, that's Rich Pratchard coming up behind him. Is he going to try to make a move to the outside? No, he's going to tuck in behind that number 8 machine with the number 5 of Frank Wade coming to the outside, challenging Delp Jr. for the lead. Not going to be able to do it, but we're 3 wide now. Going through 3 and 4, looking to make it 4 wide possibly, and they're crashing, they're bumping into each other. Everybody keeps it straight, but there is the 4 wide action we've seen in 3 and 4 all weekend, and a couple cars getting tangled up, but we keep it straight and keep it green. That's going to spread your field out a little bit. It looks like Eric Davis in a 55 machine caught the worst of that action and is now on pit road. There you see your top 5 in the picture. Javier Vasquez in that newly painted number 17 machine, looking very sharp in P4. You got Russell Schumacher up in there as well, running in 3rd at this point. And these guys are not chancing side-by-side racing, just staying in the draft with each other. And as I say that, there he goes, pulls out to the outside looking for help. Pratchard doesn't have any. He's going to fall back a little. Might have to get back in line behind that number 17 machine. Now Shoemaker moves to the outside trying to make a move. Not going to have the help with Rich Pratchard there. 3 cars on the bottom side is going to give Delp Jr. more momentum. But as I say that, look at the push Pratchard gives Shoemaker going down the backstretch, and Shoemaker's going to take the lead in that number 127 machine. What a great run on the outside for those 2 cars to get by that inside line. Pratchard's going to fall back to 5th with that move. Delp Jr. is going to try to move to the outside, but with no help, they're just going to go right on by him. And Shoemaker is going to retain the lead for lap number 4. There we see the number 32 machine, Rhett Sawyer. Patrick Manning cautions out on the speedway. Lap number 4, and we've got our first caution now. Have to go back and see what happened there. A big pack of cars. Looks like Berto de Moya and the 40, Doug Britton, are getting together, and Britton goes flying through the air into the catch fence. Looks like Basher Craven runs into him, gets into a little bit of it there. There's Dylan Herberton in the number 22 machine. He might be able to get around, but it looks like he does have a little bit of damage on the left front. Basher Craven lost a hood there. So a tough break for a bunch of our front running drivers here at lap number 4. But in the lead, Russell Shoemaker in the 127 machine, followed by Javier Vasquez, Frank Wade in that number 5. As we get ready to come by pit road, we're going to see who all had a little bit of damage from that tussle at the beginning of the race. Is anybody coming down to pit road? Looks like we've got one taker there. Number 5 car, Frank Wade's going to bring his machine down to pit road from 3rd place. And a bunch of other takers at the end of the field. Currently 4 cars a lap down. Doug Britton, Rusty Kamoli, Eric Davis, and Tyler Vickery. All 1 through 4 laps down. It looks like Dylan Herberton might be going the lap down as well in that number 22 machine. Tough break for him starting in P10. Frank Wade, Austin Knight rolling off the pit road. 1, 2 drivers coming off pit road there. So a lot of drivers making pit stops here early in the race. We'll have to see what that does for them, putting them at the back of the pack. Rich Pratchard's now got his way up to 3rd place with Frank Wade pulling into the pits. He will be starting inside, right behind Russell Schumacher when we go green. As we cross the stripe, the lights are going to go out on the pace car. We are going to get back to green flag racing once everybody gets themselves in order. Right there, row number 4, you see that number 18 machine, Casper Hagelscar, working his way up from outside the top 10. Got Rocco Stallone in that 44 right behind him on the inside line. So definitely some drivers working their way up from the back of the field, heading up towards the front. Fox Highwind is up there as well in that purple and black number 57 machine. Cars we've got here tonight. All brand new paint schemes for the season. And every one of them looking sharp as they roll through 3 and 4 on that high banking. Getting ready to come back to green flag racing. Pace car is going to duck on off to pit road here in just a moment. There the pace car goes. And a green flag is in the air. We're back racing at Daytona. Pretty even start between Shoemaker and Vasquez. Too wide all the way through. Everybody's using their heads through 1 and 2. No 3 wide racing quite yet. Vasquez and Shoemaker drag racing down the backstretch. As they slide a little high through 3 and 4, Patrick Manning's going to move that 9 machine up in the middle right behind Vasquez. He's going to try to get a little push with Antoine Bernoulli coming up in that 1 machine right behind him. Dustin Slider in the number 15 machine pulling off to pit road. Not sure exactly what that's about, but he's pulling on off at this time. And we are 3 wide racing. There goes the number 86 of Pratchard now in front of the 9 of Manning. 3 distinct grooves here at Daytona, and they are using them all. Vasquez on the high line gets pushed out front. Is he going to come down? Yes! Move the number 17, Javier Vasquez, to the point. He's going to move down to the inside line and protect that inside line from Shoemaker. Man, we got some great racing for you here. 3 wide action. Bernoulli scoots a little high in that middle lane, opening up a door, but it doesn't do anything. And we've got Dustin Slider, a slow car, our first slow car on track. We've got to see our leaders deal with here in 3 wide pack. Who's going to move? Who's going to get slowed down by this number 15 machine? As they come to catch him coming out of turn number 4. Will Vasquez move to the high lane? No, he's going to slow down and get stuck behind the 15. Brian Delp Jr. now to the lead. Rocco Stallone right there on his high side, battling it out with the number 68. A Gunny pushing Brian Delp Jr. on the inside. Where did he come from? Gunny moves up into second, and look at the gap Slater caused for these 3 leaders that were running outside. A brilliant move by them drivers, and we've got 1 more slow car coming up here. Coming out of the pits. Looking to get caught back in the draft. I believe that's the 02 of Tyler Vickery, who was involved in the first incident on here. Vasquez moves to the outside and leaves Gunny caught behind him. Stallone now giving a push in the middle lane. Comes the 55 machine coming out of the pits now after his incident there. Look at them guys right up against that wall being led by Patrick Manning. Of the number 8 machine of Brian Delp Jr. trying to fight for his lap back. Delp is going to go to the outside and try to make a move with Austin Knight, who we saw take a pit stop on his last caution. Now got himself worked all the way up, and the 2 of Vickery under the yellow line. Now he gets back in line. That could have caused some real issues. Lost a lot of momentum there. Austin Knight, Brian Delp Jr. up front now. Looks like Patrick Manning is right there behind Slider in that 15 machine. Trying find a way around him. Wide racing now. We got one car, 3 wide back there. But everybody falling into their rhythm, getting in that draft that is so crucial here at Daytona. Patrick Manning, Rich Pratchard, Rocco Stallone down there on the inside line. There's Jack Brown in that 343, a little further back there behind Vasquez. He's moving his way up through the field. Whiter's still being pushed by Manning. And Pratchard's going to move to the outside in front of Austin Knight, try to get some. Oh, and we got a big wreck. Brian Delp Jr., Austin Knight, Casper Hagelscar, Bobby Leo Moxton. Oh, and Tyler gets totally smashed from behind in the 0-2. We've got the big one. Wilhelm Layton was caught in that one. We will have to see what happened there. Zachary Taylor, David Dunwoody. What an incident. Looks like it started when the number 8 machine and the number 210 got together. There's the 4 wide going into 3. Jamie Dobbs and looks like Bernoulli there in the 1, and then the 33. The 33 gets into the 91 on the inside, sends him up into the 8 machine. And that just collects everybody. The 31 was involved, the 210, the 28 was in there. Man, a bunch of drivers getting into some stuff. You see the 24. Oh, Tyler Vickery just hard into the back of the 24 machine of Taylor. See Rusty Camoli trying to avoid, and he head-ons right into Vickery, and the 0-2 there sends him flying into the air. That's going to cause some damage for that 64 machine, and then another guard just jets in there. So that was the big one that we've been waiting for here at Daytona. Your current leader is Patrick Manning in that number 9 machine. We'll see who all comes down to pit road to the service of their crews to get some damage fixed on their cars. Luckily for them, they have got a long race to go. 16 laps now complete out of the scheduled 100, and it's been a show so far. We have got 28 drivers still left on the lead lap. Basher Craven, Berto De Moya, Brian Delp Jr., Rusty Camoli, Dylan Herviton, Tyler Vickery, Eric Davis, and Doug Britton sitting all over the lap down. 28 drivers now. Zachary Taylor's right there on the tail end of the lead lap. And we saw what happened to him in that incident. Tough break for a bunch of cars in this field so far. As we come across the stripe, the lights on the pace car are going to go off. We're going to get ready to go racing one more time. One to go green, going to get them side by side. Manning and Stallone on the front row. Pratchard and Vasquez sitting in the second row. Jack Brown has moved his way up to 5th in that 343 machine, and Adam Jones in that 48 has worked his way up to 6th. Chris Andrews in 7th in that number 2 machine. Jamie Dobbs in that 91 going to be on the outside row, number 4. Antoine Bernoulli is going to be starting in the 9th position. And the number 78 machine is Zach Halldorf. He's going to round out your top 10 as we get ready to get restarted here. Field getting a little bit smaller after the big one we just had. Still lots of racing left to go here. Just over 80 laps remaining. Anything can happen, folks, and we're going to bring it all to you right here at the Esports Simulation League. Coming out of 4, they're looking for that green flag. There goes the pace car. Field is in the hands of Patrick Manning and the number 9. He stomps on that loud pedal, and we're back. Green flag racing at Daytona. Rich Pratchard gonna jump out to the I side really quick. No help up there as he starts to get freight trained by that inner line. Chris Andrews gets by him on the inside. Rocco Stallone's getting down there. Oh, and we've got a wreck down the backstretch. Caution flag is back out. Didn't even get one lap in there. And we've already got someone getting turned down the backstretch. And there's another big one for us. We'll have to see exactly what happened there. Number 33 machine tries to move up on Jamie Dobbs in the 91 and just gets turned completely around. 15 is Slider, the 107. Oh, a bunch of cars caught up in this one. Austin Knight's in there, your former champion. What a show is going on here. Another caution, half a lap after another. And we are going to be under yellow one more time on lap number 20. I got one car coming to the pits. That's Erlen Dreddy in the number 69 machine. Not a whole lot of damage on that car, but I'm sure he caught a little piece of something. And we've got something weird going on in the front straightaway. I'm thinking that's a lap car falling back. Not exactly sure what that was all about. You see the 96 of Berto de Moya getting his lap back. He is your lucky dog. He is going to come and round out the tail of your field. Now down to 22 drivers back on the lead lap. Zachary Taylor, Austin Knight, Gunny, Jamie Dobbs, Dougie Zoom, all involved. Gerald Smith now a lap down. We got the 107 of Tracy McDaniels now a lap down. So a bunch of hard-hitting drivers a lap down here now. As we get the 1 to go signal, we're going to double them up, get them ready to go back racing one more time. Patrick Manning's on the outside, or on the inside there, with Chris Andrews on his outside. That number 9 has been strong all day long. It's been having some great restarts. So look to see what he does in that Kishi Designs Chevrolet. Sorry, Toyota. Still getting used to the makes and models of some of these teams, as we implemented a team point structure this year. So all the teams may have teammates, but they're all running the same makes and models. Makes for an even more interesting show here at ESL. And these guys are putting on a show tonight. I believe we're at 4 cautions in 20 laps. So hopefully we can get some green flag racing in here. See what these guys can do in the draft coming up. As they come out of turn 4, they're going to be looking at that flagman for the green flag. See that number 78 machine, Zach Haldorf, he is up to 6th now. Working his way up, and we are back racing. Green flag is in the air. And that number 9 and the 2 got almost an equal start on that one, and pulled a little bit away from the pack. It's going to come back to hurt him here in a moment, racing side by side as that pack starts to gain momentum. And the 2 on the bottom already have caught Manning. Here we go, folks. Getting back up to speed. Takes almost a full lap for these drivers to get their cars all the way up to speed. See if that outside line has anything for the inside. There's Andrews leading the pack on the outside with Bernoulli in that one machine right behind him. But Bernoulli's going to move to the outside and make a risky move. Nobody's there, no help for him. He's going to get freight trained by these guys unless he gets some help. All over the track. There goes the 343 of Jack Brown to the outside trying to make a move. But that number 9 of Patrick Manning is holding strong on the inside. Got a push from Zach Haldorf in that 78 machine. And they're wiggling all up front in the 343 all over the track. That's going to shed a little bit of momentum there for him, but maybe that was a bump he got because he had a drive going into turn number 1 just to seal the deal. We're now 3 wide racing, and they're bumping, they're touching. Oh, and everybody keeps it straight. Rocco Stallone's in that one. He was almost turned sideways there. That was almost another caution. These guys not having any patience whatsoever. Zach Aldorf and Andrews trying on the outside to make it work, but with 6 cars on the inside lane, they're going to need a little bit more help than that. Getting 1, now 2 drivers. That's going to even out those lanes. Can the high line do anything with the inside? The 88's going to drop back down behind the 5 of Frank Wade, who's worked his way back up towards the front after that really early pit stop after our first caution. See Fox Highwind sticking his nose in there, and that number 57 machine in the middle all by himself. Oh, we got a car coming down to pit road. That is going to mean trouble for these guys later on, next lap. Going to get slowed up by a slower car, but these guys are getting a little bit of a gap between the second pack now. This first pack is only 7 cars large. Make that 8 cars large. So these guys are running away. Now they're getting side by side 3 wide. .32 machine. Sawyer is trying hard on the outside to get by the number 9, but can't do it. Not enough momentum there. As Patrick Manning continues to lead here at Daytona. Shoemaker's moved his way back up into second place in that number 127 car. Very slick paint job on that one this year. As him and the 9 move up for Doug Britton in the middle of the road, and Halldorf in the 78 is going to get caught behind him. Frank Wade and Sawyer in that 32 are going to get by on the outside and stick with these guys. But that just broke up our lead pack out of 4 drivers. And we've got a spread out race now, ladies and gentlemen. Shoemaker gets shuffled up. See 8th and 9th there with Rich Pratchard. Jack Brown trying to get by Doug Britton in the 40 machine. You see Bobby Leo Moxon just coming in the picture as well. Got some 3 wide racing, trying to get around the number 40 machine. And caution flag is on the speedway on lap number 29. I have to see what happened there. In the pack, and of course it's turn 3 again, the danger zone. Casper Hagelscar, Rusty Kamoli, Basher Craven getting the worst of that. Looks like the 55 is involved as well. And what a bummer for them drivers. Another turn 3 incident. And this time Casper Hagelscar and Basher Craven get the worst of it, as you see 2 torn up race cars. Patrick Manning in that 9 still holding on to the lead with Rhett Sawyer right behind him. Frank Wade's worked his way back up into 3rd place. And it looks like we might have our entire lead pack coming down to pit road. Lap number 30, here come your leaders. So our first round of pit stops happening now. See who can get the best stop, and if anybody can gain any spots here on pit road. as they start coming off. Patrick Manning does not make it out first. Looks like the 5 machine of Frank Wade's going to be the first car off pit road. Nice spot by that team. Come out of turn number 4, we're going to come across the stripe, get ready to go 1 to go racing, and we will find out your now order. And it looks like Brian Delp Jr. is coming way out on this one, and is that who I think it is there in the front? Frank, those are lap cars sitting in front. Frank Wade is actually going to be your leader. We didn't have anybody stay out. Adam Jones there in the 48 getting his lap back, and Brian Delp Jr. getting his lap back in the number 8 machine. So your order now is Frank Wade running P1. To his outside is Russell Shoemaker. Eagle Madavi in that number 88 machine has worked his way up to 3rd. After that set of pit stops, with Patrick Manning coming out in 4th. Rhett Sawyer is 5th with Fox Highwind running 6th. In 7th is that number 28 of David Dunwoody and Wilhelm Layton in the number 99 car. Chris Andrews is running 9th, and Javier Vasquez in the number 17 is running out your top 10. With 31 laps complete now, coming to 32 laps complete, we are going to have 68 more laps to go. And these guys are already putting on a big show. We've had multiple big wrecks here in turn number 3. So turn number 3 seems to be the danger zone at Daytona. As the pace car ducks down pit road, it's going to be in the hands of Frank Wade as he gets on the gas. Russell Schumacher getting a good jump on the start as well. They're going to drag race down into turn number 1. And Schumacher is going to fall back because Patrick Manning going from 6th to 2nd on the inside line is really got a strong car today. Sawyer and Highwind going to fall in line behind Wade and Manning. Madavi's going to fall in. Shoemaker's going to fall in. Manning's going to move up to the outside in front of Highwind. Going to try something on the high line there. Fox Highwind says, I want to go 3 wide racing into turn number 1. Not going to be able to make it there, though. Fox Highwind trying to run that high line all by himself. It's going to make these guys fall back a little bit. Frank Wade now on the inside there, leading that inside line. Red Sawyer's going to move out. Eagle Madavi's going to move in. There's Bobby Leo Moxon moving his way up 3rd in line on the inside. Ivan hard into number 1 they go. 2 by 2. Rhett Sawyer trying to hold on to that outside lane. We've got one slow car on the track. Running up. I believe that's Casper Hagelscar in the 18. And the 02, Tyler Vickery right behind him. And the leaders are coming fast. Is Frank Wade going to move to the outside and get around him? No, he's not. Move Rhett Sawyer in the 32 to the lead. 127 and the 78 are going to follow, but that's going to change real quick as we try to get 2 by 2. It's not going to do nothing for Shoemaker as Rhett Sawyer moves in the lead with Halldorf behind him in that number 78 machine. These guys made it past one slower car. Now they've got Hagelscar in 18. He's going to go down to the inside line for the corner. That is the preferred line. Is Sawyer going to go to the outside? No, he's not. Halldorf is going to go to the outside. He's going to move in front. Manning's going to go to the outside with Shoemaker. They're going to try to make a move to the outside. 3 wide down the front stretch. Trying to make it work. Splitting Hagelscar down the middle. But Sawyer really wants that lead back as he goes to the outside and leaves the 78 hanging as Chris Andrews stays with him. Move the 32 back up front. Manning now going to be behind Andrews, going to give him a push. That's probably going to move that number 2 up to the front position, and it does. He's going to move down and leave Manning there outside all by himself. Jack Brown's a little ways behind, but that 9's going to lose some spots due to that. David Dunwoody's moved himself up to 4th in line on the inside line in that 28 machine. Having a great run for him. He won a race last year. Trying to keep himself up front here. Chris Andrews now in the lead in that number 2 machine, and we've got another slow car on the track in front of these guys. Dustin Slider, the next car to get around, making these guys shuffle all over the place. What will Andrews do? Will he stay in line or will he move to the outside? See Patrick Manning running the center. Andrews is going to go to the outside with Sawyer. He's going to leave Madabi to get stuck behind Slider. Now Patrick Manning moves to the inside in the row, and he's going to be second in line right behind Andrews. Sawyer gets moved up to the outside, gets stuck, and Freight Train up on the top lane. They've got one more slow car coming down the back stretch, and he moves down to the inside line. Andrews moves up once again with Manning. Manning has to slow up a significant amount. Shoemaker gets by on the outside. He's going to try to make a move on Andrews going through 4th. Drag race down the tri-oval here at Daytona. Andrews has the preferred line, and the train is coming with Fox Highland leading the charge on the inside. He's going to move to the outside and leave it for Patrick Manning to take over, pushing the leader. And we've got 3 cars side by side here going through 1 and 2. And now the rest of the field is going to catch up. You see Basher Craven in that number 7 machine. He was involved in the latest caution flag. He's now back on track. See Gunny's moved his way up into the top field here. Running a couple laps down. Patrick Manning's going to try to make a move to the outside. That's not going to be fruitful for him as he doesn't have any help, but we have got another slow car on the racetrack. Adam Jones. Leaders are going to catch him here in just a moment. What are they going to do? Andrews tries to go to the outside, stays there. Bernoulli is now going to move up to the point. Patrick Manning's going to try on the outside. Oh boy, here we go, guys. A big race. There goes Patrick Manning back to the lead with the help of Shoemaker. Fox Highland's going to fall third in line and leave Shoemaker hanging out on the outside. Can he get back down to the inside line? Yes, he can, but Bernoulli's going to try to make a move on Manning going through the tri-oval. But with no help, he's not going to be able to do anything either. And he is going to fall back a few spots there. There goes Fox Highland trying to make a move to the outside. And Andrews is going to come right up behind him. Give him a little push and dive right back to the inside. Rich Pratchard's moved his way back up into 5th position. Ooh, and Fox Highland, I think, just got into the wall. It looked like it, and he did. He's going down to pit road. Slams the wall coming out of turn number 4. Shoemaker gonna look to the outside of Manning, not gonna have anything to do it. Andrews is gonna close that gap up right away. You see Rich Pratchard in that number 86 machine running in 3rd now. Eagle Madavi's up there in his number 88 car. Javier Vasquez in the 17s there. Frank Wade is still there. Still got a lot of front runners here putting on a show for you, but the real all-star today has been Patrick Manning in that number 9 car. Just absolutely out-driving the rest of the field, staying up front most of this race. And here we come to Doug Britton, a lap car, going slow on track. How's Patrick Manning not going to handle it? He's going to be stuck. Rich Pratchard's going to take the lead with the help of Andrews in number 2. This 5-car field is going to break away with Doug Britton, a slow number 40, catching up Patrick Manning, your leader. Andrews gets cycled on to the outside. There you see the gap between 5th and 6th there. And the caution flag comes out once again on lap number 45. We will see what happened here. Looks like the 99 of Wilhelm Layton gets turned around. Looks like 3 wide racing through 3, and Slider comes up. And the 99 either comes up or comes down. Gets into Slider there. It looks like he tried to pinch the 15 below the yellow line, and that's just not going to happen. And they get together there, and it sends the 99 around. Tough break for them guys. Looks like Slider got into Hagelscar, who gets into the wall pretty hard. Looks like Berto de Moya gets turned around. Adam Jones gets a little bit of contact with that 99 machine as well. But a great job in the 99 keeping that car off the wall. And coming out on top of that caution is the 86 of Rich Pratchard. Now your leader here at Daytona. Russell Schumacher's behind him with Frank Wade running in 3rd. Antoine Bernoulli in that 1 machine running 4th, with Chris Andrews in that hard charging number 2 running 5th. as we get to almost halfway in this race, 46 laps now complete out of 100. We've got one set of pit stops in the books on lap number 30 to see when the next set of stops is going to come. I'm guessing we're going to be around lap 60 or 70. So we'll have to keep an eye on that if we get a caution or if we get some green flag pit stops. That could shake things up again too. So I'm looking at the scoreboard. David Dunwoody in that number 28 machine is up a bunch of spots from his original starting position. That's 26 spots. But don't count out a couple guys there. You got Eagle Madavi and Antoine Bernoulli up 21 spots from their starting position. And look at that number 2. 32 spots. Started almost dead last on the field and has been running in the top 5 for the last 20 laps. So great run for that number 2 machine today. We've got 17 drivers left on the lead lap. Austin Knight in that 210 machine is the last car, or the first car a lap down at the moment. So that makes it very interesting here. With only 17 drivers left on the lead lap. We're having cautions, which is giving guys a wave around. Lucky dog, but it's not getting our field to be any bigger in terms of lead lap cars due to the amount of cars in these accidents. So big bummer for some of these drivers early on in this race. But as we get ready to go green flag racing, once we get to the stripe, we're going to be just about halfway. And we got lots more action yet to come. All right, the pace car is going to pull off. It's going to be the hands of Rich Pratchard in that 86 machine. And he's on the throttle, green flag in the air. Great start for Pratchard in that number 86 machine. Shoemaker's going to fall in line right behind him. Shoemaker going to go wide with Wade. No, but Wade is going to take a look to the outside and hoping for help from Bernoulli. Now Shoemaker goes to the outside. Andrews giving a push to Pratchard. And Manning pushing Andrew. Pratchard moves up a little as the 2 looks down to the inside. Is he going to get there? No, Pratchard's going to stay there. No, Pratchard's going to move to the outside. Now we're 3 wide coming across the stripe. Now in the lead, followed by Manning and Vasquez. What an incredible run for that car this evening. He's up now 35 positions. And he's being shown in second, but Pratchard is falling way back on the top line. Not sure exactly what happened there, but falling way back, getting stuck on the outside. Now being shown 13th position after just now leading this race. So it shows what this draft can do if you get stuck on that outside. Got a car coming out of the pits. That's not going to do anything for these guys. They jump up to watch out for him anyway. No slower cars ahead of these guys at the moment. Clean air for Chris Andrews in that number 2 machine. these guys staying in line for the most part, using that draft to their advantage. Patrick Manning sitting in second. Very strong all day today. Don't count out that number 32, Rhett Sawyer, in fourth place. He has put on some pretty spectacular moves in this one. Running the outside and just making well-timed moves. So just keep an eye on that number 32 machine. As he comes to the outside with Javier Vasquez. He's going to try to make it 3 wide as they go into turn 3. Not going to be able to do it. Vasquez is going to fall back to the inside. And that's going to leave Sawyer out to dry on the outside. See Gunny making his way up. He is a lap down. Last car on the lead lap, trying to get by these leaders and get his lap back before the next caution. But with no help on the outside, that inside line is a freight train. Just sticking close together, nobody's popping out. It's going to be very difficult to gather a high groove to get by these guys. '78 of Halldorf moves up to the outside. Cratchit's going to move up as well in turn 4. Not going to have enough help on that high lane as multiple cars now start moving out of that groove. Patrick Manning moves up. He's going to try the outside, but with no help, that outside lane is now actually starting to gather up. They got 5 cars to the 7 on the bottom, so they might be able to push that 9 car back out to the lead. They're going to run down the back straightaway. Almost got Patrick Manning door to door with Chris Andrews. Look at that outside line go. Look at that push. Side by side through the tri-oval, and Patrick Manning's going to get pushed to the point. Now he's going to move down to the inside. So Shoemaker trying that outside lane, going to try to get by as well. This outside lane starting to come in and making moves on the outside. They are, but we've got a slow car up ahead. 2 slow cars battling side by side. That's Brian Daub Jr. and Casper Hagelsgaard. That is going to make it difficult for these leaders to get around if they're still side by side. But Patrick Manning moves his number 9 machine back to the point, getting a great push from Javier Vasquez. As they catch these slow cars, they are still side by side running 2 lanes. They're going to try to split them. The 9's got to get on the brakes, and Chris Andrews and Russell Shoemaker move their 2 cars out to the front of the field. And Shoemaker runs the high line, losing all of their drafted momentum, which is going to allow these guys to catch back up real quick. Patrick Manning leading the charge. Coming up. Javier Vasquez giving him a great push. Nowhere to go. Everybody's got to slow up, check up, move up if you have to. Leaders running side by side, now catching the draft. Chris Andrews still at the point. Patrick Manning moves to the outside, and Frank Wade's going to give him a push. Can he get back to the point on the outside line? Outside line has the far outside line to deal with now, so definitely not coming up, especially with Dump Jr. and Hagelsgaard there. Not going to do it for that middle line there, as Andrews, Vasquez, and I believe that's Eagle Madavi in Third row on the inside, and now we've got slow cars 3 wide in front of our leaders. This could get hairy coming through 1 and 2. Now they're not 3 wide, they're just 2 by 2, but this little pack of cars is going to make it interesting. What's going to happen here? They all get slowed up. Rusty Camoli's in there, Doug Britton is in there. The 33 machine and the 22 of Herviton in there. Dougie Zoom now after the bottom line. How long can he hold it there? Andrews moves to the outside to get around Zoom. He's going to do that. Going into turn number 1. No, not quite. He needs that push from Frank Wade on the outside. That's not Frank Wade. That is Dylan Herviton in the 22 machine. Trying to give a push to your leader. And he does. He's going to move down in front of Dougie Zoom in that number 33 and resume the point on the bottom line. Eagle Madavi doing everything he can to try to get around Dougie Zoom in that 33. But just not having it right now. See if they move up to the outside. We have a few drivers moving to the outside, trying to take advantage of a slower car on the inside line. Zach Moore up to the outside, right in front of Bobby Leo Moxon and David Dunwoody. Gonna try to do something there, but going 3 wide like that is not gonna do it for them. They need to stay in line and keep that draft if they have any hope of getting up towards the front there and getting past that 2 machine. As we come to lap number 60, 41 more laps to go. We do have a couple cars coming out of the pits. And we should be seeing another round of pit stops here. We got a massive wreck! Shoemaker goes hard into the outside wall, along with a couple other drivers. And on lap 60, just as I mentioned, pit stops. Looks like Patrick Manning and Russell Shoemaker get together. Looks like Manning comes down on Shoemaker. Manning and Shoemaker hard into the wall. The 50's in it. David Dunwoody gets into it. Frank Wade is right there in the middle of it. He might miss it. It looks like he got into the back of the 50 a little bit, but man, the carnage in turn number 3. Austin Knight gets into it a little bit more. Net torn up number 210 machine. Tough break for a couple of our front runners here tonight. And that is going to change things up, as I'm sure we're going to get another round of pit stops, which could totally mix things up. As we come down here, many drivers coming to pit road, but that number 2, Chris Andrews, staying out on the racetrack. See Rhett Sawyer, Eagle Madavi, Antoine Bernoulli all coming to the service of their crews. Javier Vasquez, Rich Pratchard all coming in. Frank Wade's in the pit box there now. A little bit of damage on his front end. And pulling off first, that number 32 machine, Rhett Sawyer, Eagle Madavi, and Javier Vasquez right behind him. As we have this caution flag, your lucky dog is going to be that number 68 machine at Gunny. All that hard work is paid off, and he's got his lap back. We come to get the 1 to go signal. All these lap cars will go around the pace car and get their wave around, or not. Oh, they are all going to fall to the back of the field. Rhett Sawyer moves up to the front. Or towards the front. Looks like Chris Andrews is going to retain the lead there. Bobby Leo Moxon stayed out with David Dunwoody, Berto Moya all stayed out on the racetrack. All running in the top 4. There's no nose on the number 28 machine of David Dunwoody, and he is still running 3rd place. We'll have to see what happens here on restart. Rhett Sawyer right behind him. Under 40 laps to go. We only have 14 drivers left on the lead lap. Earl Andretti is your first car a lap down back there in that bright green covered car. As the pace car ducks down, we're going to go at it one more time. Andrews hits the loud pedal, and we are racing back at Daytona. 37 more laps to go here. And Andrews gets a big jump on the field on the start. Bobby Leo Moxon right behind him in 2nd place. David Dunwoody still running 3rd. Dunwoody making a move to the inside with Sawyer giving him a push. Dunwoody's going to give the 2 a little bit of a bump draft. He's down on the yellow line. Way down there. So we get side by side. We've got, oh, Dunwoody's going to the pits now. There it is. Chris Andrews in the lead. Now nobody behind him. 343, and Brown's going to drop in and give him a little bit of help. With Bobby Leo Moxon on the outside. Getting pushed by Dylan Herberton. Lots of shuffling going on now. Rhett Sawyer moves into the 2nd spot. With Gerald Smith in that 31 right behind him. And Gerald Smith, I believe, is a lap down. Running 19th position. See Jamie Dobbs running right behind him there. So we do have some lap cars getting up into our lead pack. Chris Andrews brings her across the line. 35 more laps to go here at Daytona. And this 2 and 32 have put on a show up front here today. You see Eagle Madavi working his way up into third place at Cheetos powered number 88. Good to see him running up front this season. And he's going to push his way past the 91 and Jamie Dobbs. He wants that inside line. Rhett Sawyer jumps to the outside, trying to get around the 2. We've got cars coming out of pit road. Oh, and we almost had an accident. Madavi gets into Jack Brown, gets a little bit of damage there. David Dunwoody comes back up out of the pits. He's going to slow down Andrews, and Sawyer is going to go by the outside. Bernoulli's going to go by, and now we got a caution flag on the speedway. Lap 67, caution number 7. We will see what happened there. Eagle Madavi gets in a 343. Not exactly sure what brought out the caution. But nevertheless, caution flag is on the speedway. Rhett Sawyer taking full advantage, moving himself up to first place. There you see Antoine Bernoulli in that one machine behind Dunwoody running in second, and Frank Wade's got himself in that number 5 up to third. See a bunch of cars coming down pit road. Mostly lap down cars. Caution, Earl Andretti, the number 69 machine, is going to get his lap back with the lucky dog. And we will give you a little through the field. Rhett Sawyer is currently running up front in first place in that number 32 car, with Antoine Bernoulli in that one running second. Frank Wade is in third with Javier Vasquez right behind him in that number 17 machine. Zach Haldorf in the 78 is running fifth with Eagle Madavi in sixth. Rich Pratchard is running seventh, and Gunny has worked his way back up to ninth place. As everything gets shuffled around here, he's going to be actually in 10th place Rich Pratchard's going to be 7th. Berto Moya in 8th. Jack Brown in 9th. And Gunny rounding out your top 10. Russell Shoemaker is in 11th with Chris Andrews now running 12th. Looks like he made a pit stop on that last flag. Bobby Leo Moxon is in 13th. Earl Andretti is in 14th, and the last car on the lead lap. Zachary Taylor is 15th. Austin Knight in 16th. David Dunwoody running 17th. Tracy McDaniels in 18th. Basher Craven in 19th. And Gerald Smith rounding out your top 20. That is your ESL through the field. And as we get ready to go green flag racing one more time, we're going to have 30 more laps to get it done. 14 drivers on the lead lap. Rhett Sawyer in that 32 machine been very strong today. Frank Wade in that 5. Javier Vasquez has been up front most of the day. Some very strong drivers here as the green flag flies one more time. Rhett Sawyer and Bernoldi right side by side as they drag race down the front stretch. As these drivers get up to speed, Wade is giving a good push to Sawyer. Three wide, further back in the pack. Everybody is jostling for position. And up front, Antoine Bernoli on the high side with a push from Vasquez. Getting a great run through the tri-oval into turn number 1. Can he get by Sawyer on the inside? Not going to be able to do it through 1 and 2. Too much speed on that bottom line. See, Vasquez is going to jump down in line in the lower lane. Haldorf is going to jump out, try to make something happen on the high line, but there is nobody there. You see Gunny working the top lane all by himself. Now he's going to fall back in with Bernoli on the inside line. And leaves Zach Haldorf on the outside line all by himself. Wade trying to look to the inside of Rhett Sawyer coming out of turn number 2. Is he going to be able to get there? Yes, he is. Rich Pratchard going to give a great push to number 5, move Frank Wade up to P number 1 with Rich Pratchard giving him a great push, now running second. Now we're getting 3 wide. Caution flag on the speedway once again on lap number 73. We'll have to see what happened there. Looks like another turn 3 incident. Number 99 gets into the back of the 55. Sends him turning into Bobby Leo Moxon. You see Chris Andrews in that 2 machine. He's right there in it. He gets caught up with Basher Craven. Jamie Dobbs gets shoved into the wall. Bunch of drivers stuck in this. You see Fox Highwind spinning. Rocco Stallone barely getting by Fox Highwind there. And Zachary Taylor gets into the 55. And there's Tyler Vickery with another hard hit in that 0-2. And Casper Hagelscar getting into that again. Another big one coming out of turn number 3. Frank Wade's going to come out your leader after that. We should be done with pit stops, so I don't expect to see any of our leaders coming down anymore this afternoon. But wow, what a show we've got going on here. Not sure why we're having so many cautions here, but it is Daytona, and racing is racing, and it does happen. So that Frank Wade still running out front with Rich Pratchett and Javier Vasquez right behind him. That number 17 has been strong today. He hasn't been running up front in the lead, but he has been a pusher for sure, running in the top 5, top 10 all race long. Look to see him there at the end of this one. Antoine Bernoulli's been there as well. You see Austin Knight looks to be your free pass driver, getting his lap back, running 15th position. That number 210 machine's got a pretty torn up race car, but he is going to get his lap back and be back on the lead lap. We've seen him pull off some amazing finishes, and we'll see if he can do anything with his car today as he's coming back to pit road now. As we come to the stripe here in just a moment, we're going to have 25 more laps to go here in this one. And we will be right back with your green flag. As the pace car rolls through turns 3 and 4, field is going to be in the hands of that number 5 machine, Frank Wade, as we get 24 laps to go when we go green flag racing here. I believe we've had at least 20 lap green flag runs, so we could go to the end without a caution here. Let's hope we get some great racing. That pace car is going to duck on off, and Frank Wade is going to hit that loud pedal. We're going back green flag racing here at Daytona. Already 3 wide before we get down to turn number 1. Zach Haldorf making moves on the outside. Rhett Sawyer's right behind him. Rich Pratchett trying to get in line. Antoine Bernoulli's going to look to the outside of Vasquez. Vasquez going to stay in line with Wade and give him a push. Three wide through 3 and 4. All your lead cars right here. You see Chris Andrews in that number 2 machine on the inside line at the back there. He's caught up a little bit in that wreck, but didn't seem to faze him too much. Must have just barely skated through. Rich Pratchard moves himself into the lead with a big shuffle of cars. Antoine Bertoli now in second. Looking to the outside. That's going to open the door there for Rhett Stoyer to give Pratchard a push. Can Bertoli get by on the outside with that extra momentum and that extra car? Not going to be able to do it going into turn number 3. They're going to have to try down, but with only 4 drivers on the outside and 6 down inside, it's going to be very difficult to get past these guys unless they start moving around and moving up. Rich Pratchard at 86 in the field, having a great run tonight. Started P4. Started P4 and is now currently in the lead. There's Basher Craven, holds up Rhett Sawyer. Pratchard gets around. Halldorf gets around. Wade gets around. That was a very quick hold up. Rhett Sawyer had nowhere to go but check up. And look at Frank Wade running the corner of the number 78 machine, trying to get him arrow loose coming through the corner. He's going to look down to the inside of the 78 and push his way up to second. Now we got a 5-car breakaway after that slow car held up your field. And they have got a massive gap back to 6th place with Rhett Sawyer. These guys are going to have to get in line if they want to catch this front pack. See Javier Vasquez giving Sawyer a push. Tracy McDaniel in that 107 Cheetos powered Ford trying to push his way forward, but running that inside line, it's not helping these guys. As Sawyer tries to go back down again. Not going to be able to do much on the leaders running side by side like this. More laps to go now. Pratchard in the lead, Halldorf in second. Wade fighting him there for third. Now move Wade up to second and Madavi up to third. Bernoulli's going to take that inside line and take fourth. All these guys running in the top 5 apart from Wade and Pratchard all started way back in the field. Eagle Madavi's up 28 positions. Antoine Bernoulli is up 21 positions. Zach Halldorf is up 17 positions from his original starting spot. So it shows you that no matter where you start in here at Daytona, you have a chance to be up front. And Rich Pratchard said, I don't want to worry about that. He started up front and is staying up front in that Epic Esports powered Chevrolet. And with less than 20 to go, these guys are in a great spot. They've got a gap between back to Gunny there in 6th place. Gunny has linked up with Javier Vasquez trying to reel in your leaders. Do they have enough time with 18 more laps to go? Not if they're trying to run side by side like that. Halldorf and Bernoulli trying to make something happen on the outside. Bernoulli's going to pull down to the inside. And Frank Wade goes to the outside of Pratchard. You got a slow car in the field. Maybe that's a preemptive strike to get past him on the outside when this slow car gets here. Zachary Taylor, no. Pratchard and Bernoulli go around the outside, leaving Eagle Madavi getting stuck with Halldorf behind there. Now Bernoulli's going to go to the outside of Pratchard and try to take the lead going into turn number 3. Frank Wade's got the push on the inside, not going to allow that to happen. Move Frank Wade up to second place once more. Front pack now got caught down, and look who's caught up to the back half of that pack. Gunny and Vasquez have caught the other 2 drivers from this lead pack. And this 4-car pack, if they get in line, can catch the leaders. It's who is in line more that's going to stay out front. Right now, Badavi is stuck on the outside. Now Vasquez is going to move to the outside to get around Taylor. These guys need to link up, and he's going to try to get around Madavi, which is going to be a big mistake for him because now they're going to be side-by-side racing, and they're going to lose that draft. Looks like Gunny has caught up to our lead pack and is trying to run the outside line around everybody. '69 machine of Earl Andretti trying to get his lap back. Going actually another lap down. Got caught up with them guys. But with 15 more laps to go, Rich Pratchard continues to lead here at Daytona. Zach Haldorf and Frank Wade battling for second place. Frank Wade is going to get it there on the inside. Javier Vasquez now moves up to third in that 17 machine. They've caught back up. Earl Andretti slowed these guys down enough to get the pack back together. Now Wade and Vasquez are going to move the outside of Pratchard. Vasquez is going to fake, come back down, get stuck on the outside with Gunny moving his way up into the inside. Move that number 68 machine up to second place. We got another slow car. The leaders are going to elect to go high of Brian Delp Jr. Him, Gunny, and Vasquez going to get by. Vasquez going to try the outside line. Not going to be able to do anything there. As Gunny's getting a little bit of a draft from Pratchard, who's all the way up there by himself. That could be dangerous as Vasquez and Gunny are coming in. Vasquez darts to the outside. Gunny's going to elect to stay down on the inside line and give Pratchard a push. Frank Wade trying the outside to give Vasquez a little bit of help. But if they don't stay in line, they're not going to be able to do anything. 5 drops back down behind Andretti. Gunny in that number 68 machine catching back up to the leaders, now running second in prime position to take over that spot. He's just got to get a run somewhere. He's got a great pusher behind him, that number 69 machine. He's going to look to the outside, but no help. He's not going to be able to do nothing there. Vasquez and Bernoulli on the outside trying to form a nice line. But with 6 cars down on the inside, they're going to have overpower. We do have some slow cars coming up on the racetrack. Most likely going to run into him either on the backstretch or coming up in the next corner. At least they are in line and drafting, so they will be a little bit faster. Looks like Fox Highwind is leading that pack. Doug Britton and Rusty Camoli. So at least these guys being in line drafting with each other is going to help our leaders, but not if they go side by side racing. Going to definitely slow them up and allow our leaders to catch up. And look at Gunny being pushed by Vasquez on the outside, trying to get a run on the number 86. Pratchard's going to get stuck. And the 40 is going to hold Gunny up on the outside. Not going to be able to do anything there as Pratchard still's got the lead. Wade running second now. No gap in between him and Pratchard. Haldorf is running third in that number 78. And Rhett Sawyer in the 32 has worked his way back up to fourth position. Coming to the stripe, 9 more laps to go for Rich Pratchard in that number 86, giving the number 57 a push. I'm sure he wants to get back to that front spot. He's going to move to the outside. Frank Wade's going to move down to the inside. Caution flag in the speedway. Lap number 92, we have a caution. Rich Pratchard still being shown your leader. He moved to the outside and was about to get freight trained, and a lucky caution keeps Rich Pratchard back up front. Going into turn number 1, we get 3 wide, and Patrick Manning gets into Zachary Taylor, I believe. Or is that David Dunwoody? That is David Dunwoody that he gets into. That sends the 9 up into Brown. Andrews is in it in the number 2 machine. Austin Knight gets caught up in it. Wilhelm Layton just squeaks by in that number 99 machine. The 9 gets absolutely drilled, gets off his tires. Tough break for Patrick Manning. He was so strong at the beginning of this race. Led quite a bit of it. And now struggling just to finish. But with 8 laps to go, we are going to have a shootout to the end. Rich Pratchard currently leads Frank Wade in second. Zach Haldorf in third, with Rhett Sawyer in that number 32 machine running in fourth. Antoine Bernoulli is sixth with Eagle Madavi seventh. Javier Vasquez is now eighth with Gunny, is in seventh with Gunny in eighth. Bobby Leo Moxon is ninth, and Jack Brown in that 343 we saw get in an accident is in 10th at the moment. We'll have to see who comes down for service in their pit road. Doesn't look like too many drivers are in there, other than ones involved in the accident. So while we're back under caution, I want to just say thank you from the Esports Simulation League. We've had great success for our first season for the Truck Series and the Xfinity Series, and we have many more awesome racing yet to come. So definitely stick with us on Wednesday and Thursday for the races. We go to Dover International Speedway next week, and that is going to be a great concrete race. And with 6 laps to go, we will come back when we go. as we come through 3 and 4, getting ready to go green flag for possibly the last time tonight. We are going to have a 5-lap shootout. Rich Pratchard, Frank Wade on the front row. That pace car ducks down to pit road, and that green flag is in the air. We're back racing for the last time here at Daytona. Haldorf's going to make a move to the outside of the number 86 machine. Leon looks like he's got something, but no help on the outside. Antoine Bernoulli and Javier Vasquez are linked up with Pratchard. Now Bernoulli going to move to the outside and allow Vasquez to get in and give Pratchard a push. Bobby Leo Moxon, Gunny giving a nice run on the inside. Frank Wade and Eagle Madavi giving pushes on the outside. 78 shuffles up a little bit. That's going to break the momentum for Bernoulli. Not going to allow him to get by Pratchard as we have 4 more laps to go. Pratchard leads. Vasquez running in second in that number 17. Frank Wade trying to use a little bit of side draft to keep that momentum up on the outside. But with 3 cars against 6, not going to be able to do anything. More cars are going to have to get up there and help them out. Bobby Leo Moxon's got himself up into 3rd place in that number 92 machine. Gunny's going to make a dip to the outside in front of Frank Wade. Can he do anything? No, we've got 2 drivers that drop down to the back there. Haldorf and Bernoulli going to drop down and not leave that outside lane anything. 3 more to go now. Pratchard still leads. Sawyer moves his way back up to 3rd. We've seen that number 17 get down on the inside line and get position on someone. Can he do it in these last couple laps? Pratchard having a very strong run in that number 86. There goes Vasquez looking to the inside. Right on the number 86's bumper as they come out of 4. Sawyer gets shuffled up. Madavi gets shuffled up. Now Haldorf is 3rd in line on the inside. Popsicle sticks in the air. 2 more laps to go. Javier Vasquez jumps to the outside lane and gets on the outside of Pratchard. He's got Madavi and Sawyer 4 and 4 inside and outside. This is the time for the 17 to get up front. Can they get the momentum in the run on the outside? Frank Wade dips down to the inside lane. The outside line has a run. Can they do anything with it going into turn number 3? Giving a push to the 17, but with 5 cars on the inside, nothing doing. There's Austin Knight on the inside. Rich Pratchard gets slowed up. The number 17 gets by. The number 88 gets by. Move Javier Vasquez to the lead. We're going to be 3 wide across the stripe. White flag in the air. 1 more lap to go. Red Sawyer and Eagle Madavi working on the outside. Move that number 88 to the lead. Vasquez still battling hard on the inside. 3 wide through 1 and 2. Battling 3 wide. These guys got cars coming behind them. Javier Vasquez has got the preferred line. Rich Pratchard falls back to the outside. Eagle Madavi's right there. Can he get by as Austin Knight gives a push to the number 17? The 17 is going to move up towards the front. Eagle Madavi stuck in the middle lane with no help as Haldorf is going to take over 2nd place. Coming through the trial 1 more time. Checker flag in the air. Your winner, Javier Vasquez. Coming home in 2nd, the number 78 of Zach Haldorf. The number 1 of Antoine Bernoulli coming home in 3rd. Eagle Madavi taking 4th. Gunny in that number 68 having a great run for himself, running in 5th. Rich Pratchard, who we thought was going to win the race in the last closing stages, finishes in 6th. Bobby Leo Moxon takes 7th. Rhett Sawyer takes 8th. Frank Wade in at number 5 put on a strong one. Ends up coming home in 9th. And Jack Brown in that 343 is going to come home in 10th. From everybody here at the Esports Simulation League, we want to thank you for coming out and joining us tonight, and we will see you next week in Dover.